If you've gotten to a point in your marriage where you and your wife feel more like roommates than partners, you're in the right place. Now, I'm not trying to make or give a dramatic description here. This is one of the most common things that men describe when they come to me. They're still in the same house. They're still going through the same motions and doing what they're supposed to do. But they feel like something that used to be there is just gone, and there's a gap that's been created between what was and what is now. Today, we're going to talk about why that happens and why the things most men try haven't closed the gap, and what actually changes this roommate dynamic. Now let's get into it. By the end of this video, you're going to understand 3 things. First, what looks like lost attraction is usually something else entirely. The reframe here matters because where you think the problem is determines where you look for the solution. Second, why every attempt you make to try to fix this problem hasn't closed the gap. There's a specific reason for that, and it's not a random one. Third, what actually begins to change this roommate dynamic. I'm not going to give you tips and I'm not going to give you scripts, but I'm going to tell you what actually shifts it. Here's a situation that I hear described over and over. You're there. You show up. You come home and you do your part. You share a bed and a calendar with your wife, but that's about it. The connection is gone and both of you feel it, even if neither one of you is saying it out loud. It doesn't feel like a crisis, but it feels like something quieter and harder to name, like you're living parallel lives under the same roof. You're polite, you're functional, but you're distant. That is the roommate dynamic, and it's one of the most disorienting things from the inside because it doesn't look like a problem from the outside. Everything else appears fine, and yet something important is clearly missing. If you're like most men that I work with, the story that you're telling yourself is she's just not attracted to you anymore, that something has changed and you don't know how to get it back. I mean, maybe she used to reach for you, but now she doesn't. Maybe that physical closeness faded over time and everything else followed. That story makes sense from the inside, but it's usually not the full picture. What looks like a loss of attraction is almost always a connection pattern that's developed so gradually that neither one of you saw it forming. Now, she didn't just stop being attracted to you one day. The distance is something that built up slowly through thousands of small moments where connection was possible and something else happened instead. This is where most men get stuck. When that distance grows, your first instinct is typically to close it physically, to reach for her. And when that doesn't land the way you hoped, it confirms your fear that she's just not attracted to you anymore. But for most women, that physical closeness follows emotional closeness. It doesn't create it. So while you're trying to close the gap, the only way you know how, she's waiting for something to shift emotionally before she can get there. Both of you are trying, but both of you are missing each other entirely. That experience of rejection that sets in afterwards, it hurts. And so I'm sure you've stopped reaching over time. She winds up experiencing that like more distance and pulls back even further. And now neither one of you is moving towards each other. Both of you are waiting. And that's the stalemate. It's something that can go on for years without either person understanding what actually began to create it. So why does this happen to men who are capable, committed, and genuinely trying? It's because no one taught you how to stay emotionally present. And that's not a character flaw. It's a skill that you were simply never required to know until now. I mean, think about how you were actually taught what connection was. In most environments, men are taught the same model. It's stay composed, solve the problem, move forward, do the tasks. Those are the real skills because they produce outcomes. But at home, what connection actually requires is different. It means that you need to stay present. It means sitting with discomfort instead of moving away from it. It means being reachable, but not just available. Those two skill sets are not the same, and most men were only trained in the first one. The second one is never modeled and never practiced because it was never required until your marriage started asking for it. So that gap that you're feeling is not a character gap, it's a skill gap. And a skill gap can be closed. So what actually shifts this dynamic? It's not pretending that you have emotions that you don't feel. It's not becoming someone you're not or agreeing with her just to end conversations faster so she doesn't get upset. It's not about going through the motions of closeness while nothing on the inside changes. The shift is closing the gap between what you're experiencing internally and what actually lands with her. In practice, that looks like letting her see what actually is happening inside instead of that already managed version. It means staying in conversations past the point where you would normally exit. It means naming what you're experiencing instead of overriding it before anyone else can see it. It's not performing emotion, and it's not becoming someone unrecognizable. It's not about losing your composure. It's just about becoming more accessible, more reachable. The version of you that doesn't disappear the moment the conversation gets hard. That single shift changes more than most men expect, because what most women in a roommate dynamic are asking for is not more effort. They're asking to be able to reach you, and those are two very different things. Now, if this is something that resonates with you, the best place to start is understanding which pattern is most active in your specific relationship. That's because the roommate dynamic shows up differently depending on what's driving it underneath. The Disconnection Audit is a free, private assessment that takes about 5 minutes. It gives you a pattern name and a description of what's happening in your marriage. Not just a generic score, but a specific picture of what's actually driving the distance. The link to it is in the description below. Again, it's free and it's private, and it's the clearest first step I know of. If you found this useful, there are 2 other episodes in this series that are worth listening to. The first one covers why smart, successful men feel disconnected in their home in the first place. The second one covers why trying harder is actually making things worse. So I'm going to invite you to subscribe so that you don't miss what's coming next, and I'll talk to you in the next one.